The students that come through my classes right now, many of them don't know what to expect when they come into college. So the work level that they were used to maybe in high school or when they went to high school years ago is very different, and it's much heavier. And there are so many demands on their time. They work, they have families, and they just can't balance their time well. Another thing is they don't realize how much responsibility comes with college, that it's up to them really to make their own path, and no one's going to lead them by the hand.
Today's students come in with a lack of proficiency in reading, math, and many of the basic skills that many years ago students had before coming to college. So with that in mind, we have to develop specific types of programs that are going to move them forward and hopefully retain them and graduate them within a timely manner.
We have open admissions. Anybody can come in and give it a shot. And I love that. I love to see people trying that may not realistically have a chance. But my biggest frustration is seeing people who have all the gifts in the world and not using them to their potential, or just not even showing up for class.
So students are juggling work, coming and leaving campus, trying to find that parking place, all of those good things that are challenges for students, for them to be present, to be on time, and to be involved in their learning.
Much of the research that's been done in community colleges particularly identifies life issues as the main reason our students are unsuccessful. Our frustrations, we can't be there every minute to help them do the right thing, so we're trying to empower them to do it themselves.
So one of the reasons that we have been implementing OnCourse on our campus is because our enrollment management committee came to us and asked us to consider developing an orientation to college course to try and stem the tide of the students that we were losing.
Well, I am often asked, how did OnCourse get started? And I can track that back right to a year, 1987. It was a really troublesome time in my life. There was professional problems. I was teaching English at a community college, feeling very frustrated by the students that I was teaching and seeing capable students that should be succeeding are not succeeding. I had no idea what I could do more than what I was doing. And actually, at the same time, I was going through some personal problems. My marriage had broken up, financial challenges, challenges with my kids. I mean, I was going through rough waters at the time. So my initial reaction was kind of feel sorry for myself. I had this aha. I was reading a book by Scott Peck, and a line jumped out at me. And he said, whenever you think the problem is out there, that's the problem. And I started to think how I could apply that to my own situation. Where had I been pointing the finger and blaming other people and thinking the problem was out there when in fact I had more control over it than I thought I did? So I started to do some research. That was one thing I knew how to do. I may not have had a clue how to solve this problem directly, but I thought I can research. So I started taking classes. I read books, took a workshop, took a couple of workshops, went to a counselor, even enrolled in a master's program in psychology. Because I was really looking for some tools, some keys, some ways that I could change the outcomes and experiences that I was having. What happened was I began to apply these things first to myself. I was coming across strategies, coming across concepts that I would apply to my own life, and I started to see differences. My life started to really improve. I started to realize I'm changing my life. And I thought, I wonder if I could apply this to my own students. So I tried an experiment. And the experiment was to write brief essays about a specific tool that I had personally found helpful. Add at the end of it a journal entry where the students would then take this idea and apply it to their own lives. And I would give this out to them in the class, ask them to take it home, read it, write the journal entry. And basically that's all I was doing because I was continuing to teach my class. And it wasn't long before I started to see some significant changes that the students were demonstrating. They started coming to class more regularly. They would come on time. They would do their assignments. They stopped making excuses when they didn't get their work in. They started working together in groups doing editing of each other's papers. They were going for tutoring. They were just behaving in a new way. I thought I had died and gone to Harvard. So as I saw this change take place, I was really interested to see, would this change the results academically? And the program that I was teaching in, we had an exit exam, which meant that the students' final papers were read by teachers other than me. And the beautiful thing was that the students did much better. And it was the assessment of these other teachers who had no idea of this different intervention that I had been using with the students. So I became pretty confident that this approach was making not only a difference in my experience of teaching them, which was dramatically different, but also the results they were creating. So what I realized was that the students weren't incapable of doing well academically. It was just that they were making lousy choices. And that through this process, they were learning how to make wiser choices. And I thought that could be the key to the book. That could be what OnCourse could be about. That this could be a way to help them learn how to make wise choices, overcome the kind of challenges that every human being faces, and create academic success.